The Joy of Creation is a game developed by Nixon, who had developed other FNAF style fan games previously, but currently he's making a remake to these previous games he has worked on of the Joy of Creation series. But the Joy of Creation itself, alright, and it's has really fantastic graphics, I must say. But well, that aside, it's not related to the main FNAF lore, and neither is it like actually canon to the FNAF franchise, because well, it's a fan game. But well, the game starts with a cutscene where we see one of Scott's sons, who's called Nick, going to his house after, and then he has a talk with his landlord, and then after that, once he enters the home, it cuts to black, thus showing the title screen, which shows or not four doors, it's five doors. Five doors that each one of them has a level, and they're called memories, or forgotten memories, which you will then remember once you beat the level. The first one being the bedroom, but, well, once we enter the bedroom level, there's a cutscene that plays where a strange man is inside the Scott Cawthon's residence, and he says his name is Michael, and he has no recollection or memory of why he's there. They then start interrogating him a little bit, and then they let him sleep in the guest room. Okay, keep in mind that this cutscene happens before the previous one that we saw. As in chronologically, because Nick in the first cutscene he's an adult, while in the second cutscene he's a child still. And well, after that cutscene ends, then there's another little cutscene which is for every single level of this game, where Nick, as an adult, will talk about the things that had happened in the past. And well, he goes in great depths on each one. Or well, not for every level. I'm pretty sure he only speaks in the first three levels, but that's besides the point. But once we get to the bedroom, we're playing as Nick, who's a child, inside his bedroom. He's on his crib. To our front, we got a door, which also has a nightlight next to it. And to our left, we have a window, which we can close the curtains. And to our right, we got a closet, which is quite a bit far away from us. But that's important for later. And behind us, we got a lamp, which we can turn on and off. And also a clock, which we can look at. A digital clock, to be exact. The night will begin with Michael calling us, and he will tell us that we're in grave danger, and for us to not speak back to him, as he says, there's monsters lurking around here, as he calls them. And basically, that's just a little tutorial thing where he explains what each of the four enemies do, and then he recaps once again, and then the call is over and the night begins. Well, alright. The first enemy that we have to deal with is Freddy, who will appear through the window to our left. All we simply have to do is once he appears there, you just close the curtain. Then he will go away. He will do this weird noise, and that's when you know that he effed off. The next one, which is Bonnie, he will knock at the door of our room, and once he knocks three times, then he will enter the room. And to deal with him, you have to turn off the lamp that's behind you and crouch in the crib. until he goes away. Quite easy, but that can be quite difficult once Freddy also goes on and tries to attack you at the same time. So you have to deal with one or the other first. And sometimes Bonnie will knock 2 times instead of 3, and he won't enter the room, but that's just to throw you off. Now, the next threat, it will activate at 1 a.m., and that's Chica, who will be in the closet to our right. She's very quiet compared to the other characters, so you'll have to listen for like a door creak noise of her opening the closet. And she can't kill you, but she stuns you once she jump scares you. And to avoid her jump scaring you, you gotta turn off the lamp and not crouch or fake sleep. Okay, the fake sleep, we'll get to that. But basically, turn off the lamp and don't crouch until she goes away. And lastly, the final main enemy of this level would be Foxy, who will be hiding under the crib, and you'll hear like a metallic noise, and then you'll see his hook like on the crib. Then he will like get up. Once he gets up, you will have to fake sleep, which you do by like looking up. But alright, keep in mind, once Foxy is in his last phase, he won't kill you immediately unless you look at him, but because of the position that he's in, you can't look behind you and turn off the lamp, or close the curtain. Which, yeah, so you have to fake sleep anyways. Or else Freddy will kill you, or, Bonnie will kill you because you have your lamp turned on. And if it's off, well, there's another case here that I will mention soon, and that is the sanity mechanic. If you look at the night light that's right next to the door, it shines green, and that means your sanity is all good, all great, no worries. But it decreases over time and it never goes back up. But if you have the lamp on, then it's fine, it won't drain. But once it's off, it starts draining. So you gotta, multitask key to not make it go too down. Then it will turn yellow, which means it's already draining, and well, you still have plenty of time still, it's no worries. Orange, then it's very quite low, it's you'll start seeing things, like some strange noises, all that. And then it will, once it turns red, characters for example like Chica, she will just kill you normally instead of stunning you. And also you'll see a shadow Freddy like pop up near you, and then he will kill you once sanity is completely down. So yeah, you will have to keep your sanity intact. But also keep in mind, when Chica jump scares you, she drops your sanity by a lot, so yeah, it's preferable to not get jump scared by her at all. And that's all the mechanics for the bedroom level. You did this for 10 minutes straight, which is how long each night of this game is. 2 minutes for each hour. And once you complete it, then 5 a.m., the room's gonna get all red, everyone's gonna attack faster, and Chica would just straight up kill you normally instead of stunning. But you just survive for 2 minutes, and then kablooey, you did it. You completed the level. Now, moving on to the next level, we got the living room, where we play as Scott's wife, Carlton. And this level is really bloody difficult, but the mechanics sound very simple. But alright, before we get to the actual gameplay part, first we get a call by Michael, who will... Okay, Michael, he calls us in all worried, And he explains that this is his fault and that the supposed monsters, as he calls the animatronics, are going to the living room to kill Vol. And throughout this whole cutscene, Vol also talks back. Or, well, not cutscenes, the call. And she asks about her husband and all that. Michael is unsure on his status, but he helps her out by telling what she has to do, which is to stay outside of the animatronics and to, well, hide, while also keeping in check the three entrances in the room. Then he will explain that she just has to survive till 6 a.m., just like usual, and time will just pass much faster, according to him. Kinda weird, but well. He explains all that, and then Vol starts asking more questions to him, like how does he know Scott's name, and just overall about Michael, but then Michael stops responding. And then the actual level begins. Okay, we have three entrances. Behind us we have a closet, which we can peek through. And to the sides we got two doors. While to the front of us we got a television and a sofa. We can sit on the sofa to check on the television. And that will be one of the big mechanics of this night. Where once the two main antagonists in here, Foxy and Freddy, they work the same way. Okay, so Foxy, he will go to the right door, while Freddy will go to the left. And what you have to do, you have to go to the sofa, and in there, you can check the POV of them in the TV screen. And then you can pause their movement. And you're supposed to make so that they don't arrive at the room at the same time. Because if they do, then they will kill you. But once one of them arrives to the room, you just hide behind one of the doors. Then they just look around for a tiny bit and then they go away. And yeah, it's quite simple, but oof, you barely will have that much time to go between the other side of the room to the altar. Now, at 1 a.m., Bonnie will activate, and Bonnie, he will be in, well, the entrance to the middle, the big closet one. And that one, you cannot check on him on the TV or pause him. But all you have to do, you look through the lock, where you will be able to see him. He has 5 phases. He gets closer and closer. But you don't have to actually check there and look at him. Because for every he will do this weird moan noise that will sound closer and closer the closer he is to the actual door. And it's quite easy, you just hide to the side, either side of the closet door. And the detail, of course, is that Bonnie will never get out once Freddy or Foxy are already in the room. So keep that in mind. So you will have time if he's on his final phase and one of them is already in your room. And now Chica, she's the final antagonist. She activates at 2 a.m. All she does is that if you sit on the sofa too long, you start hearing these growling noises. And if you sit there for too long, then she will jump scare you and stun you. Not that very threatening, to be fair. But it can be quite annoying because you don't have that much time to actually go around the room. And the stunning can really end your run. But it's quite simple. All you have to do is just stand up again, and then the growling will stop. And it's the same thing. If once it's 5 a.m., then oh, she now can kill you by just jump scaring you normally. It's quite simple. You just do this on repeat, all of that. 10 minutes, you pass the night. But it's still a very difficult level though. Then we have Bonnie, and Bonnie will be in the middle door of the living room level, right there in that closet where you can look through the keyhole. Oh well, it's probably more of a doorway, but it looks like a closet or double door. But alright, you cannot go to the TV and look at him, like Foxy and Freddy, and you can't pause him either. So what you have to do is that he will move, like, he has 5 phases where he will move closer and closer until he finally opens the door and then you gotta hide. You don't really need to check the keyhole to look at him. You can just hear him because he does a weird moaning noise every time he moves, and it gets more clearer and a bit more loud the closer he is to the actual doorway. And once, well, he gets to the door, of course, then you just gotta hide either side of the room, and he will very quickly close the door again instead of spending a few seconds looking around. And, well, that's basically what he does. Now, lastly, we got Chica, who still does the same thing of stunning you instead of straight up killing you. And of course, at 5 a.m., she just straight up kills you. Where where she will, if you sit for too long in the sofa, like looking at the television, then she will just make these growling noises. You just hear it gets louder and louder, and if you sit there for too long, then she will jump scare you. So, and to avoid her, all you have to do is just stand up again, and then, you know, she's already dealt with. Quite easy. And then you go on, 10 minutes on, it's this cycle of over and over again until you finally beat the level. And, well, now we can move on to the next level, where we'll play as Colton himself. And this level is... The office level begins with a narration by the character Nick Colton, who says that he does not believe in spirits and whatnot. Then he speaks, saying that many claim they have and whatnot, but he does not believe so. Then afterwards, he says that his father, Scott Colton, made a very famous game series, Five Nights at Freddy's. It had merchandise, the games, it was everywhere. But then one of the games, Dolls Cancelled Sister Location, after that night specifically, when the animatronics attacked him in their house, everything just disappeared. Everyone forgot about that game series, and well, there were even rumors of there being a movie for it, but none of that happened. And because of these things that have happened to Nick and his family, he believes that nothing lasts forever. So he has these philosophical views of his that everything must come to an end. Well, then the cutscene cuts to black, and we go to an actual animated cutscene where we hear young Nick scream. Scott hears this. He runs up to the second floor where his bedroom is to check on Nick, and when he opens the door, there's just a black void there of where Nick's room's supposed to be. And then he looks to the hallway to the side. Then he gets some sort of hallucination, some migraine. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it makes him fall to the floor. Then when he looks at the door again, it's closed. But then the door slowly opens, revealing Freddy is there. He comes out of that void that was in the room. Then he slowly approaches Scott, and Scott tries to tell him to back off. Freddy straight up attacks him in an attempt to kill him. Thankfully, Scott avoided that, and then he started running for his life. Running throughout the house, screaming the name of each family member, just calling for help overall, but none of them heard him. So he just kept on running while Freddy was chasing him until he arrived to the office. where he sees a letter, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it was written by one of his sons, not Nick, but one of his other children, and there's a flashlight right next to it, and the note says that they are afraid of the light, so keep the flashlight steady. Once the level officially begins, we do not have the help of Michael here. He doesn't call us or anything like that. Instead, we listen to the voice of Scott Cotton talk to himself through like a phone call. Of course, Scott himself cannot reply back to this phone call. It's pretty weird, but this implies this level right here, because in some of the later calls, we hear Scott say that he's been here for days and days in this level. So he's probably stuck in some weird time loop of sorts. It's pretty weird. Because, alright, in the previous level, the living room, they say it's only passed a few minutes and that's it. But in Scott's case, he's been there for days trying to get to the 6 a.m. Well, this is one of the very paranormal abilities of the animatronics, which I will explain in the basement level, which is the next one, which is when they explain what they are. But well, anyways, the main objective here, of course, is to survive to 6 a.m., but you also have to find Freddy and flash him in one of the 3 doorways to the front of you. To the middle there's a closet, to the sides there's 2 doors, and to the middle, of course, you have a little walking area, and in the back you have the monitors that you can check on. 3 cameras, 1 for each entrance. And Freddy, he can't kill you in this level, he can't jump scare you or anything. But you have to find him and open the doorway and then flash him in the face. You need to do this 11 times and you'll be able to beat the level once you get to 6 a.m. If you don't do so, then everything goes dark, FNAF 1 style, and then he plays the music, you know, the Toreador March. But it's like a different version of it. Well, so yeah, Freddy he's easy to deal with, no worries. But he sometimes hides in the cameras, like he doesn't appear face first. No, the actual threat of the level is Foxy. Foxy will appear in one of the 3 doorways, and you have to check the camera he's on, and you need to stare at him until he goes away. If you open the door he's on, then you die. If you take too long to find him, then he will break inside the room. And you know what happens next, he kills you. And yeah, he's quite difficult to deal with, especially after 2 a.m. He can appear in 2 places at the same time. There's not a glitch or anything, there's an actual thing, like of his mechanic. And it can be quite difficult to deal with him sometimes. And sometimes you can even open a door and then he spawns inside one of the rooms or to one of the doorways, but he doesn't kill you immediately, so it's fine. But yeah, Foxy, he's the big enemy here. You gotta worry about him quite a bit. Now the next threat activates at 1 a.m. if I'm not mistaken, and that's Chica. There's a big hole to the wall, like to the right side of the room, where she will come out through, and she will wiggle herself out of this, entrance hole to get inside the office. And to make her go away, you have to find these 3 shadowy cupcakes, which are hidden around the room. And the room has like cabinets, there's like a hole in the wall with a poster covering it, and a trash can. You just have to find them around the room. And they can be in one of the entrances as well. And if you don't find it in time, then she'll get in and, well, kill you, of course. But some things you can do, if you stare at her, then she stops moving completely. Until you stop looking at her directly. But of course, you still have to deal with Foxy and whatnot, so you can't do that the whole night. But she's easy to deal with. You just find the cupcakes and then she goes away. And also the cupcakes do noise, so it's not impossible to find them. Now finally, the final threat of the level is Bonnie. And Bonnie will try to hide in one of the cameras. He doesn't kill you, but if you stare at the camera he's on, like directly at him, then he will punch the bloody camera. He'll fucking punch it and break it, making you unable to use it. You know, that sounds bad, like really bad, but matter of fact actually, it makes the level easier because Foxy cannot go in the broken cameras. So there's a strategy you can do where you can let Bonnie break 2 of the cameras and only have 1 camera to worry about Foxy. And of course you have to be careful to not have Bonnie be in there as well. Plus, you know where he will be. He will do his moan sound, just like in the living room, for you to figure out where he's at. But, well, this level is quite easy to be fair, and all you need to do really is survive to 6 a.m., just like all the other levels, but you also have to flash Freddy 11 times, and that's quite simple. And once you complete it, of course, say, 5 a.m., the room will be all red, some things will change, like the poster and all that. But once you complete it, you're good to go. Okay, but I do want to note, the office level also has some pretty weird things to it, like sometimes you can hear ambulance sounds, and, well, children singing a Christian song, like they start singing Jesus loves me. It's very distorted. It's quite unnerving. But now the next level is the basement, and this one is probably the strangest one because you don't need to survive to 6 a.m. It's a objective based level. Plus, it's a free room sort of deal that you do puzzles in. But well, before we get to the level itself in detail, we first get a cutscene of Scott going down the basement, still trying to find his children. He managed, of course, to leave the office, and now, when he looks around the basement, he sees that it's practically empty, until he hears a jump scare noise to one of his directions. That scares the shit out of him, of course, and then he sees there's a monitor right there, showing a bunch of eyes. And, alright, I'll just leave the cutscene to play out right here.
Hello? Kids? Are any of you there? I found your note. Daddy's here. You must be really scared, but I'm here. Why are you doing this to us? Why? Just leave us alone, you monsters! I created you. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. How is this happening? What are you? You are not them. You're just using their faces. What are you?
Your creation. I'm sorry.
Okay, now, from what we can deduce, Michael's intentions seem to be quite, okay, he's helping out the family, but he doesn't help out Scott Cawthon at all, which is quite strange. And from when he said, your creations, well, we can guess from this that the characters, the main characters right here, which is the 4 main animatronics, then Michael, they're actually the creations of Scott, as in the literal creations. Michael is meant to be Michael Afton, Mike Schmidt. And, well, from later on, the game gives us some more clues. There's like newspapers you can collect in a few of the levels, hidden somewhere, that you get more lore stuff. And this lore, they're not animatronics at all. They're demonic entities, or well, doppelgangers, taking the form of Scott's creations. And well, of course, in their form, they're limited to certain weaknesses of those forms, such as the animatronics being weak to the light and whatnot. But they also have very supernatural abilities, such as in the office level, we see Nick's room just completely disappears and becomes a void because they can transport certain rooms and put them in a pocket dimension of sorts. And they also have a weird time manipulation where they can keep it in a stasis. Like in the office level, where we see that Scott has been there for days, like days on end, in a loop, while in the living room level, that has only been a few minutes that passed. Well, we get the name of these entities, which is called the Ignited. Earlier on, I could have called them already by that name, Ignited Freddy, Ignited Bonnie, Ignited Chica, Ignited Foxy, but I didn't want to do that yet. I want to put the reveal right here. And well, they pretty much, from what we can later assume, and this from the next level, the attic, which reveals that they want to take over Scott's body so they can continue living on in this reality of sorts. It's pretty strange. But basically, Michael is don't he only helps the family out because he wants Scott himself. He doesn't care about any of the other family members, so he helps them out because he doesn't want them to die. But Scott, he wants him dead. And well, Michael is not the leader of these Ignited. He's just doing a deal of sorts with them. But well, anyways, the level starts and we're playing as Michael in the basement level. There's some monitors that open up and they show messages to us on what we have to do for each level of the basement, because it's 6 floors. Each one kind of representing a clock almost, because it goes 6 rooms, you know, so and you keep going up and up. And well, the one sending those messages is Ignited the Golden Freddy, who we have seen in a few the other levels has an Easter egg, but he has never been an actual threat just yet. And in here, he's just giving us a message. And well, we don't have to deal with the 4 main animatronics in here. Instead, we deal with these new enemies called the Fallen, which are also demonic doppelgangers. But they take the form of the endoskeletons of the 4 animatronics. And the first one we deal with is Endo C Mouth, which is Chica's endoskeleton. And just the way to avoid that one, you just simply gotta stay away from it. Nothing that difficult, so just get to the other side of the room and don't get near the endoskeleton. And you beat it quite easily. You just walk up the staircase and you get to the door. And once you get to the door, then it will play the Golden Freddy laugh. And then the door will disappear and it would just be a concrete wall. Then you just gotta go back to the bathroom that you started in. And then you get to the next level of the basement, not the next level of the game. Whew. Now, the next level, we're tasked with collecting objects and putting them on a furnace, which is quite simple to be fair. It's basically just the 4 things each of the 4 main animatronics have, like Freddy's top hat, or Bonnie's guitar, and then Foxy's hook and Chica's cupcake. And you just gotta put them in the furnace and let it burn. So, you have to avoid the Endo C Mouth, which will teleport someplace in the room after each object that you place in. It's not that difficult, but then you also have a new threat to deal with, which is the Endo R Blue, which is this auto animatronic. You get like your screen flashes saying for you to go back, and basically you just have to go back to the bathroom you started in, so you can reset the timer. So yeah, your screen will start getting more distorted and all that if you don't go to the bathroom. And if you stay outside the bathroom still, then of course you see it running at very fast speeds towards you, and then it kills you. It's not that hard to deal with. It's just like a timer thing that you have to deal with. Not too bad. Now the next part, you have a completely new enemy, NOB Angel, which, if you know the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, or SCP-173 from, well, the SCP series, you know the deal. Look at it, it doesn't move. Look away, then it moves very fast. But before you actually see the enemy, you just have to do this puzzle, which is just like a key lock combination, and that's it. Then it opens a gate, revealing then there'll be Angel. Well, you just gotta lure it away from the door that just opened and go to the next room. And then there's another puzzle there that you gotta do, which is a bit more difficult. And, well, it's also more difficult because now you have the NOB Angel to deal with. But it's a bit simple because you can just lock the door again by clicking on the exact same button you clicked to open it, and it moves very slowly, the door itself, so you have enough time to just go into the other side of the room and have that door be closed, trapping the enemy there. Well, not too difficult of a part, unless you struggle at the puzzle itself. Now the next level is probably the most simple one actually. You're stuck in this hallway instead of the usual basement, and you just gotta walk forward and not look back. But if you do look back, then you get killed by Endo F Red, which is another enemy. It only appears in this level though, of the basement at least. And it's supposed to be Foxy's and a skeleton, of course. All you gotta do is just walk forward, and then once you're about to get to the end, you're gonna start hearing the loud footsteps of it coming towards you. But you basically have enough time to get to the door before it even reaches you, so it's no worries. Now once that part is done, you get to the final level, which is the level 5. Because level 6 is just, oh wow, we completed it. Nice. And this one you have to deal with the NOB Angels, and there's 2 of them on the room, and 2 of the Endosea Mouth, and you gotta get to the other side, while also avoiding getting near the Endoseas. Quite simple. Until you click on this button, and the gate opens, where you're supposed to go to the staircase, revealing another angel, NOB Angel. And then things get a bit tricky, because you're not supposed to go in the staircase, because it's like barricaded. Instead you're supposed to take a key from there, and get back to the bathroom. Oof, it's really convoluted, but once you do get to our side, you completed it. And finally you're in, well, level 6 of the basement, where you're gonna see a monitor showing some of the old teasers from the Scott.com games, page, which is quite neat. It's pretty cool. It's from during the anniversary. And then, well, you just gotta go up again to the staircase, and now it will be a real door instead of it just disappearing. And then you complete it. You complete the level. All good. All dandy. And then we can finally move on to the final level of this bloody game, that being the attic.
You've prolonged this for too long, Scott. They're barely holding themselves together anymore.
Why? I have been a good man. We've been good people. Why have you demons come to torture me and my family?
I was saying that we've gone...
Stop ignoring my questions! If I'm going to die, at least I want to know why! Can you at least give me that?
Look, I'm sorry. It's just the way things have to go. It's just a part of life. For us, I mean. Their bodies are hardly keeping themselves together, so they've gathered themselves in the basement. They can't just kill you directly, you know, and I promised them I'd leave you to them. So I brought you here to at least try to talk to you before they arrive. So before they get here and everything burns, I'd like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to see the world through the eyes of your creations. Being Michael Schmidt has been an incredible experience. I mean, I feel fantastic. I want to keep feeling like this forever. And to do that, I need you to die.
Leave us alone!
Okay, what you just saw, well, Michael revealed his true nature. He wants to keep Scott somewhat alive, so that he can kill him himself and take over his body. And, well, this is where he placed Scott after he knocked him out in the basement. He moved all the way to the attic and then placed Scott there, bound to a fucking chair. Just so that they would have enough time to talk. While the creature in the fucking monitor right there that did that horrifying roar is creation. Well, creation is a fusion of the four ignited, because they couldn't keep their body together for too long, so they just merged together as a last-ditch attempt to end you. And it's all the way down there in the basement, and it will crawl up to level until it reaches the attic. So basically, it's the final boss of the game. But alright. Basically, creation will start all the way down there, the first level. Then he has 3 phases in which he will move, then move again, and then move once again. And then, if he gets to the 4th phase, then he will break a wall of sorts, a barrier. Then he will get to the next room. And, well, once he has broken the barrier and gone into the next room, you can't make him go back to the previous room. So, the way to stop him is you need to click on the right lever, and that will flash him, making him go back to his previous phase. Oof, but keep in mind there's a very big delay in the flash. It takes quite a few seconds for it to recharge once again. So you gotta balance it out. Oof. But well, the actual main objective, because creation, he isn't that threatening actually, he's the easiest one to deal with in this level, matter of fact. The main threat is Golden Freddy, Ignited Golden Freddy, who you will have to find in one of the cameras and flash him. It's just like the Office level, where you will have to flash him a certain amount of times to win the level, but in this case you don't need to get 6 AM. You just need to get 12 flashes on Golden Freddy. And Golden Freddy usually hides pretty well in the room, so it's quite difficult to see him. And sometimes, if you look behind you, you'll see his big head pop up, and all you have to do is not look at it, because if you look at it, then you die. So, gotta be careful for Golden Freddy, because he will kill you quite a few times. Ooh, but very neat detail is that for every time you flash him, the rooms slowly begin to burn, one by one. The first flashes, nothing changes. Then the basement starts burning, or begins to burn. then it burns completely down, and then the living room, then the bedroom, then the office, and then the attic will start burning. And, well, then the 12th flash, then you win. It's a pretty cool detail. Plus, the Gwen Freddy plushie, like that's to the front of you, will start glitching out. Like it's glitching out of reality. It's pretty cool looking. But well, now that we know how to deal with creation of Gwen Freddy, there is the 4 fallen animatronics that we dealt with in the basement, and they're back here. Okay, Endo are blue, and Endo F red, if I'm not mistaken, that's their names. They have the exact same mechanic, except one attacks in one doorway and the other attacks in the other doorway. And you can't see them in the camera, but instead you gotta listen to the footstep, which they will be like running, like it's very fucking loud. And then you just close the door once you hear them getting too close. It's an easy one to deal with, especially if you have headphones on. Then it's quite easy to know in which direction they're going from. Now, the other threat in this level would be the other 2 endoskeletons, Endo C Mouth and Endo B Angel, which are really annoying to deal with. There's a switch to the left of you, which will switch to the camera system. That's 2 cameras, one for either side of the doors, and one of them will be there. Once you know one of those about to attack is when the camera flashes black, and then you just gotta close the door. But well, it's easier said than done because they're completely silent, so you gotta actually look in the camera to see if they moved or not. Plus, with the weird perspective of the attic, you gotta look behind you and then close one of the doors, which can lead to some confusion. Oof. Well, technically, this is probably the level that ends the quickest because it's an objective-based one, and you can finish it in under 5 minutes if you're like very good at that. So we don't have to worry about the 10-minute nights from the previous levels, and of course the basements also being objective based. But here, alright. This is like actually really fucking difficult. Because, well, not only do they attack faster and faster, like always, but also, well, it's a lot of things to deal with. Plus, you're on a timer because that's what creation does in this level. He's a timer for you to deal with. Because, well, you can't really stop him completely. Well, in the case of creation, if you don't flash him at all, and you haven't flashed Gwen Freddy at all as well, it takes him exactly 8 minutes and 39 seconds for him to get all the way to the attic itself. But the more times you flash Gwen Freddy, the more aggressive creation will be and the faster you move. For example, if you're in the final phase, let's suppose creation is still in the first floor, which is, well, the basement, and he's still in his first phase, it will take him only 4 minutes and 30 seconds for him to reach all the way up there. So, oof. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. But once he does get to the attic, it's not an immediate death, because he opens a trapdoor that's right there behind you. But then he does this animation of him getting up, and then he just slowly walks up to you. Which can give you some time to at least flash Gwen Freddy once more. But of course it's not like enough time for you to do 2 flashes only once. And that is if you're lucky enough to have Gwen Freddy spawn in one of the rooms during the time creation is about to jump scare you. Alright, if you do finish the attic level, then you get this cutscene of Scott Calton getting out of the rubble as everything's burning and falling apart. And well, okay, I'll just let the cutscene play out for you to see.
Sam, Anthony, Nick, where are you?
You really love your family, don't you? You can die here, you know. Survive the night, just wait for 6 a.m. and it will all be over. That's how it worked there before, right? But these are not your things. This night won't go away until you've been consumed by the fire.
What about them? If I have to go, then you at least promise me they'll be safe. Promise me that you won't harm them. Please.
Mommy, Daddy's coming out of the house. Honey?
Dale, I'm here!
Daddy! Oh, hon, I was so worried.
It's okay, Val. It's okay. We're safe now. Have you called 911?
Yes, I did. As soon as we got out, I called them, like, a few hours ago. They said they'll be here as soon as they come. Oh, God, you stayed inside there for so long. I thought you...
But I didn't. Don't worry. Everybody is fine.
Daddy, what happened to home? Why is it burning? Is Michael still in there?
We are safe, Nick. Murders. You're safe now.
Dad? What are we doing now? Everything's gone.
You are safe now. That's all that matters.
Dad, you're acting weird.
You are safe now. That's all that matters.
Honey, are you
You are safe now. That's all that matters.
Daddy, no!
You are
Oh my
safe.
God, oh my God!
That's all that matters. You are safe. That's all that matters. You are safe now. That's all that matters. You are safe now. That's all that matters. See, they're safe now, just as you wanted. Thank you for your cooperation, Scott Coughlin. I'll take care of everything from here.
Yep, as you saw there, Michael was successful in his plan. He got Scott's body. He did as he promised. He's not going to harm his family. Well, the Ignited will still harm his family, but still. Now the house has burnt down, but it got rebuilt, as we saw in the intro of the game, where Nick's an adult. And we saw Michael's true form before he took over Scott's body. it's yeah, it's a pretty chilling ending, especially Scott's scream as he gets his body taken over. It's oh well, of course, now the credits start rolling, and that's the end. That's all. Now you get an extras menu, which you can see all the animatronics there. That's pretty cool. They're very well detailed. And also, you can play some of the challenges modes that they're not lore relevant at all, but they're still a challenge. Like the blind mode bedroom, which an insane man has made that. Jesus, you need to rely only on sound cues, and your screen's completely black. Then there's the basement run mode, which you have 8 minutes to complete the basement level, and you can't pause the game. So, can barely scrape by that one. And finally, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this one's called the survival mode, where you cannot pause the game. If you die once, you gotta start from the beginning. And the special thing of this mode is that you play every single level of this game, one by one, until you get to the end. And if you die once, you gotta restart from the beginning. But only within this challenge. You don't lose your progress or anything.
Well, this was the joy of creation. This beautiful masterpiece made by Nixon and his team. It's probably, if not the best FNAF fan game ever made. It's beautiful, it's challenging, it's, well, it has interesting challenges to go through. The story can be quite interesting, even though some parts of it are quite simple. But I'd say I would 100% recommend. It's a 10 out of 10. I'll put the link on the description for the game. And, well, the game is free, so what are you waiting for? Go get it. Well, unless you have crappy computers, then I guess you can't really run it on the good graphics, but, well, you can make it have very low graphics so you can handle it. Well, I guess it's the end. If you guys like this review, then like and subscribe, and I'll probably make more. Yeah, shorter ones, because this one was very bloody long. So I'll see you all next time.